I hate to do this, but I think it's a good time for me to slip out.
All right,
Well, the funeral.
drive careful. And,
Stay out of my drawer.
Okay.
you don't want in there anyway.
Probably mouse in there.
Yeah, I'm telling them.
All right, we'll see you guys
All
later.
right, see you, Roger.
Drive safely.
With three, all it takes is two for a quorum, so we can still make decisions. Probably won't make anything too tough until we'll table anything that takes some visitation or.
Okay.
I see that with paper, Leslie's son's just hired on as a police officer in Atwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been looking for a job in law enforcement for quite a while.
We had,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, he started off big. He wanted to go to Atlanta originally, Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
And I think he figured out
Did he
that,
take the test?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, that's the tough part.
And, well, there's such a lag time between application and
Yeah.
hiring because you have to do all the testing and there might be a year before you even hear. Well, a lot of these guys, they still have to eat during
Yeah,
that time,
yeah.
so. Anyway, he come back and found a job over in Atwood. He'll do fine.
Yeah.
Except we lost him as a dispatcher.
Yeah, he was working for us as a dispatcher, which
We
kind of,
was, oh, I didn't know that.
Part
Yeah.
time, yeah.
And that's got to be a tough job.
yeah. For a young guy though, yeah. Young single guy, wow, that's fun.
Dispatcher, please.
Please.
I think it's good training. I think that city level, getting into that, if you're gonna make it, get a little exposure to that city level.
Yeah.
Not a career. I wouldn't wanna make a career out of it.
You want me to see if I can get DJ or Dolores?
Yeah, might as well.
Now, the guy from Oakley is going down to Liberal, going to be what is his last name? His wife runs a thick fossil museum. He's going to be who would be in charge of Liberal? What position is that be? And the highway patrolman, what position would be in charge of the Liberal office?
Oh, a lieutenant.
Lieutenant? Okay, he's going to go down in there.
You know his name?
Oh, I should have. She's a head of that Fick Fossil Museum, and yeah, anyway, so and I said, "Are you moving?" And she said, "I don't know. It'll be for only a couple years. Is that kind of normal?"
You have to spend 2 years in grade before you can move on.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Liberal's kind of a tough
I would
area.
think.
Morning, DJ.
Good morning, am I up, sir?
You might as well be.
Copies from Dave.
Anybody else do that?
You might leave it for Roger. I'll put it in his desk.
He told me to stay out, or I'd put it in for him.
So this is your schedule.
Yeah, for the whole
board.
year for meetings for the Western Weed District, County Weed Directors Association of Kansas. And I will probably not be attending all of these. I know in May, April, May, it gets really busy. Even though,
And you're on the board of directors now.
no, I am not.
No.
I did not get voted in.
Okay.
They're possibly looking at me for next year. I have a chance to be on the Kansas Department of Ag Advisory Board, but that is not yet to be determined either.
Okay. So really all you need is approval to attend some, all,
Of these meetings, if
what you feel necessary is going to help you.
that's correct.
And you say you may not make them all.
No. Noxious weed spraying gets pretty busy in the middle of May into April, along with doing all the rural cemeteries that I need to get caught up and taken care of between then. There'll be several meetings I won't attend. I don't know if I will make the little KAC in Colby. I definitely probably will not go to the KAC in November.
Okay. I think it's great that you're trying to, improve your knowledge base and still be able to do your job here, so I've got no problem with it. Will I?
I don't know.
Yeah. Just kind of keep in mind that, if you get backed up in your,
Yes,
yeah, go for it, DJ.
appreciate it. No, it's more important for me to be here for our community than it is to do some of this stuff, but I
Sure,
do.
but you need to keep current and
Yes.
and educated on what's new and what's going on, so.
The other items I got on board is, I need to talk to you about some repairs for Unit 24.
Which is,
The other big dually spray pickup, the diesel, it's the 04, 1 ton. Right now, the power steering pump's going out. I got front end problems. I'm gonna have to have tie rod ends, ball joints replaced.
is it 2004?
Yes. It's got 143,000 miles on it. I went to Yoast this morning to get quotes on repairs.
Yeah, we just gave a pickup away a little bit ago.
Well, this one has a big 500-gallon sprayer on it, and with that flatbed, I have to have a 1 ton.
Yeah,
I almost have
that
to have a
makes sense.
dually. It's a lot of weight.
Well, check on the repairs and keep your eyes open for possible replacement.
Yeah, because I did inquire about what a trade-in would be, and they'd only give us $4,000.
For 2004.
Yeah. But I don't think I have anything in my equipment reserve at all right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're trying to get that back to where it needs to be.
Okay.
Over periods of time. I do have it in my budget. I need to do some upgrading on the spray system. Would like your permission today to get bids to do so.
Yeah.
I need a console, boom valves, flow meter, and a pressure control valve.
Yeah, get your normal bids. We usually ask for at least 2 bids, and 3 if possible, but 2. And then we kind of compare what they're all going to look like before we go ahead with the project. But yeah, get those bids.
I appreciate it. Any other questions? That's all I have.
I don't think so. How's your prairie dog?
Wonderful.
Problems?
I think things are working out pretty good.
Good.
I know there's a couple things involved with Leslie and I right now, but we're still giving them adequate time to do what they need to do.
Good. And you're not seeing a lot of resistance?
No.
Okay. Sounds
It's just,
perfect.
it's just tough when you have out-of-state landowners.
Sure.
That trying to give them time and adequately contact them to inform them of what they can do to help the situation. So,
All right. Sounds good, DJ.
nope, that's all I have. Thank you,
All
guys.
right, thank you. Mike, what brings you here this morning?
I'm the Jim.
All right, well, I think you guys are up, so let's come on up.
What was the last part with DJ? Anything?
He's wanting to get some bids on some repair for his spraying equipment.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Share with me. Oh, actually, I do have an extra. There you go. Is this a recording device?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for meeting with me. I'm Jim Carlson. I'm the Executive Director of the Kansas Natural Resource Coalition. We're a coalition of counties, mostly western Kansas, but we have Sedgwick County was a member in 2018. So right now our membership is about 22 counties.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this at all?
Get a little, yes.
Okay. What I'd like to do is,
Willie probably is not, so you
I'm
might
not
explain.
familiar.
okay. So I'll go up to I'll start with the 101 version, and in our 15 minutes, what I'll do is share with you our background, the coalition's unique background, our approach to the organization, and why it hopefully will be of interest to Cheyenne County. So there, as in terms of membership, what Kansas KNRC does is we engage federal agencies on their statutory responsibilities for natural resources. So that's the summary. Well, and it's not just federal agencies; it's also state as well in administrative government. So typically, you think of, for example, Kansas Association of Counties. They engage on the legislative side. They do legislative work. We're focused on the administrative and the executive agencies because that's where decisions are made right now. So just for example, in 1933, there was about 60 federal agencies. Now they think there's about 430.
I like that.
OMB is not sure.
Yeah.
They're not sure.
I
They
believe
don't
it.
know how many federal agencies there are. So what our approach is, we're nationally known. Kansas Natural Resource Coalition is now nationally known. We're at our five-year. We just passed our 5-year anniversary, or what have you. We're nationally recognized for our effectiveness in natural resource policy, and so we're doing things that no one else has done in the history of America. And so what does that mean? We internally train county commissioners on their 9th and 10th Amendment, not only responsibilities but their powers. County commissioners have a tremendous amount of power and authority in the counties. They wield a tremendous amount of authority. Many do not understand that, and so we train county commissioners, but then also we engage on the issues in a way that is respectful and with respect and dignity for the agencies. But we also study their own statute. Here's the keys to the kingdom. We study the statutes, and we levy their statutes in a way that says you can't do that. And so we understand procedural law, and then we have strategies that we forward that are very effective. And so I'll share a few of those examples.
Okay.
So we use a combination of authority, deep knowledge of the statutes, and the congressional record and technical research. Here's kind of an example. You probably have never met anyone that has, and I don't want you to hear what a great guy Jim Carlson is. So, but our work is unique. You're looking at a guy that you may not have met, someone that was able to get the President of the United States to issue an executive order. So on December 20, we were able to get that done. That's I have two things. I'm the executive director of KNRC, but I'm also I have my own business, and that's because my executive directorship doesn't pay that well, so I have to put shoes on the kids another way.
Yeah.
And so, but so for me, it's not about money, and as you hear about that, for me, it's about America, and it's about government using the authority of local government to level the playing field for our farmers and our ranchers and our commercial enterprises. So I'm very interested in that. And so we can talk more about the executive order, but that's a different kind of a whole different realm. So some of the examples you'll be familiar with that are also in this guy here. Okay, and you can read this on your own, but everyone's heard of the Lesser Prairie Chicken threatened species listing, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. In 2013, that's how we formed. Was U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service wanted to list the Lesser Prairie Chicken as a threatened species, And so we knew that the Obama administration was going to do that. And so what we did is we and I know I'm an Endangered Species Act expert. And matter of fact, that's ESA and then 17 other acts of Congress. So I'm considered an expert on many acts of Congress. And so what we did is we created the record, both science and administratively, that when the Fish and Wildlife Service did list the chicken, that our record was used when the Permian Basin petroleum marketers sued Fish and Wildlife Service, and then vacated the court in West District of Texas vacated the listing. So our record was used for that. That we claim credit for that. We were primarily responsible for that. Now the environmental groups now are coming back. You will see right now the species is in status review, and you will see Fish and Wildlife Service probably come out again in early 2019. The government shutdown is helping this process by delaying, but you will probably see, our speculation is, you will probably see another threatened listing attempt. That's our speculation. That's part of the reputation. I met with the director of U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service twice, and in fact, in the last 6 months, I've had the opportunity to meet with White House staff on various issues, prairie chicken being one of them. Also, the gentleman here was talking about, this is of interest to Cheyenne County too, was talking about the prairie dogs. And so you might be familiar with Logan County, right? Prairie dogs, okay. And Nature Conservancy and all of that going on down there. Logan County is a member, and they were actually one of the original founding members of KNRC. And there, we have the Haverfield Barnhart Complex, where the ferret introductions were taking place, and we're now going to approach things differently with USDA, where we're going to try and get money for the county for prairie dog control, because that's the issue, is prairie dogs and across the line and such like that. But Fish and Wildlife Service is and I mean when I say this, they're scared of us. And so they respect us because we understand the issues. We treat them very, very with dignity and respect for what they have to do, and we get invited back to the table. So lesser prairie chickens coming back, and is going to be coming back, and Cheyenne County will probably have, quote, a dog in the hunt. Sorry about on this hunt. This isn't a good hunt because this comes from their website. You can see that. Where LPC is known or believed to occur, and you can see that there's a possibility Cheyenne County might be in that mix. Now, why is that important? Is that if the LPC is listed and the 4D rule is put in place as well, then it could affect certainly your farming operations and ranching for sure, and oil and gas. Do you have oil and gas production here?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be my next issue that I'll speak to that might be of interest to you. But so it's coming back. Remember in the 80s the poltergeist deal, it's back. So now we're conservation oriented, and we care about threatened and endangered species. So I don't want to send the message that we don't. But what we do believe in is that local government and the people have an interest in conservation, but they also have an interest in commerce, and we have an interest in our farms and our ranches and making a living for our families and our children. So, and passing land to the next generation. So we're very multi-generational oriented. Right now, KNRC. Have you heard of Pacific Legal Foundation?
No.
Okay. All right. The Pacific Legal Foundation approached us at KNRC. And at that point, we were 25 counties, and this would have been in 2015, and that's in your packet here. And they said, hey, do you want to sue the Department of Interior? Now, Pacific Legal Foundation is a public interest law firm. They've had 9 Supreme Court case wins in the last 18 years, and they're heavy hitters. They're the heavy hitter in public interest law firm. Now, for us, as local government, what does public interest law firm mean? It means somebody else pays the bill.
That'd be nice for a change, wouldn't it?
So that's what that means. It also means that the PLF, if we lose at district court level, then PLF will take it all the way to the Supreme
Appeal it up.
Court. Yeah, Pacific Legal Foundation. Jonathan Wood is our attorney. He's nationally known. And they said, would you like to sue U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to get them to run one of their rules? It's a favorable rule. To ask the court to order them to put their PEC rule through the Congress. Are you familiar with Congressional Review Act?
Well,
Okay, CRA. CRA was a law. It's a law of the land, federal law. CRA was a law of the land, and in the mid-1990s, and it's very simple. It says that every rule that comes out of every federal agency has to get an up-down vote in the Congress of the United States. Since that rule was promulgated and passed law and signed into law by the president, agencies have systematically ignored CRA all the way, not surprising, and so now there are thousands of rules out there that haven't been submitted for CRA review. This lawsuit basically just says, hey, Your Honor, we would like you to order Department of Interior to submit the PEC rule.
to Congress for approval.
That's right. And so why is that an issue? Why wouldn't Department of Interior just do that? Because it sets precedent. So that's and that case is ongoing. We're waiting to hear from district court. The point is behind that is that KNRC has attracted national attention in a positive way, and it depends on who you are. Whenever you go to do something, there's going to be people that don't agree with that. But our county commissioners, nearly 70 county commissioners, on this one voted unanimously. There was not one county commissioner that said no when we proposed this lawsuit. So that's another thing we're doing. And then we also another thing we did. We have and by the way, if you have Scott, I think I sent you the electronic version of this. All these are hot links. If you have email addresses, these are all hot links, so you can drill down on everything that we've done and follow it out. Our material is absolutely excellent. So it's the environmental groups don't challenge us. They don't challenge me personally. I've had eight wins in other areas for my company. And so you can drill down on this and check all of that out. So I'll finish up here in just a couple of minutes, but and then I'll give you the pitch, because this is a pitch, of course.
It always is. We're expecting that.
So this is the credibility side of why Cheyenne County. It's in the interest of Cheyenne County and your citizens to become a member of KNRC, because there's collective bargaining and there's strength in numbers. But also we're not just asking you to be a member. We would like you to be engaged. We have yet to lose a county from the organization when they send county commissioners to our policy meetings.
What county's close to us, our members?
Sherman.
Sherman is?
Let's see. Sherman. Thomas was an original county. Sherman's a member. Wallace just joined. Sheridan.
And the reason I ask, it's always beneficial to us
I didn't think about it until this morning, that maybe I need to discuss that with you guys.
Okay.
Were you able to get the bank signature card and bring it with you?
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Okay. They said they were gonna get in touch with you, but they must not have gotten in touch with you. Do you happen to have your driver's license and social security card or a picture of them so I can?
I have his driver's license, copy of it. I did find it.
You need it now?
Well, I'm gonna need to take a copy of them and take them to one of the banks they needed before they can do signature cards on there.
I gave that to Carla.
Yeah, Western State won't do it without it.
I don't have a social security card with me, I don't believe.
Do you have a copy of the social security card by chance?
I don't think so, I just have the number.
I'll have to know.
Okay. So I have new signature cards for this one. There's 2 accounts there, so there's 2 of those. I need each one of these signed. They're carbon, so don't sign on top of each other. Wherever your name is, I need everybody to re-sign those. And these are, we'll let you get started on those. This will need to be signed. Okay, the other 2. These 2 are the most important ones because these are the checks you're going to be signing. The other 2 banks will get taken care of. That's real quick. You would write your social number on there and sign
These
it.
are signed.
Isn't it on here?
I'll send it
No.
down to Willie.
Shouldn't be. We took those off years ago.
All right.
They started that once and had way too many complaints, so they moved it. And if you just sign that, but thank you.
Is that all you want to find on that one?
Yeah. Mr. Ed
Well,
always,
these you have to actually use your signature.
Mr. Ed always complained about his hand wearing out.
Do you know, Scott, is Sharissa have any plans on coming in at all?
I think next week, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just get a hold of her and see if I can run by and have her sign these.
That last one, did I sign the wrong date on it? I thought it said,
It's easy to do this time of year.
Yeah, I've done it twice this morning already.
well, what I thought I did was I signed I thought it said date of birth, and I was,
Well, on these, you don't have a date, so.
that one there.
Well, you did fill in the date of birth because they didn't have those.
Was that was supposed to do?
Oh, no, I can change that for you.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
One more.
Hopefully next meeting we'll have 4 more cards for you to sign. But these are your AP and payroll pay accounts, so I make sure these were signed.
Yeah, we'd have a riot if it didn't.
Okay, so official business then. Now what I come here for you is I would like to have permission to go to a class and conference for KCTA in Topeka in February the 13th to the 15th.
Yes, that's where you get apprised of all the changes and everything
Yeah.
else. It's important that you go.
And this is our most important one because we put a reception on for our
Legislation,
legislators
yeah.
on Thursday
Yeah,
evenings. So,
those legislative receptions are important.
yeah. Thought I'd have an update on my counters, but I have been having a problem getting anybody to give me quotes yet between schedules and everything else. So I just wished I would have had the foresight to come back and go ahead and ask you to income that capital outlay that I had, but I'll see if I can work it out in this year's budget.
Okay. That'll work good for us too.
And I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to change how I'm doing my payroll. I was paying out of both the motor vehicle and splitting it between motor vehicle and my treasurer's budget, but this year what I'm going to do is pay everything out of my treasurer's budget and do a transfer because it was causing issues with withholdings on how the payroll was going. So a couple of us were having income tax issues with
Problems
the
with it
withholdings.
later.
So that's how I'm going to change that. That's
And
why your
That sounds fine.
checks look different. And I think that's all I have.
Okay, yeah, go enjoy that meeting if possible.
Okay.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Doris.
you.
Ladies, Ed, I think we're ready.
We thought Tom Keller was probably gonna be here, but we've got to keep things moving.
Good morning.
Jenny Kling is the administrator in training.
Jenny, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Do you go by William or Bill?
Really?
Really? Okay, and I'm Valerie.
Or we just, as long as it's not late for breakfast.
I've got it, really.
So where do you come from, Jenny?
I grew up in Sharon Springs.
Oh, well, geez, you know all about us.
She knows all about Western
Yeah,
Kansas.
we're no
doesn't she?
different, so,
No, not at all.
I like it.
Good.
I don't want to move away from Western Kansas.
good, good.
So what we have before you is the cash flow projection through June and the net income, revenue, expenses, and then where we are as far as shortfall. And then where it says loan repayment, we had, do they know? Okay. There was a donation that was made by a board member as far as a loan. And because as we took over, we were running into some problems with our cash flow when we took over from Good Sam. So we had a $44,000 loan. And so that's what says loan repayment, to start repaying that.
Just to bring Willie up to speed, you might.
Thank you.
You might kind of go over the history of the last 6 months of this place. If
And I
you can
thought-
do it briefly.
I talked to him just briefly earlier this morning. But like I told you then, Good Samaritan was supposed to run it through the end of the year. And they were running about a $30,000 a month red ink. And so they had decided they would turn it over to us on December 1st. And then right at the end, they said no, November 1st, because they'd used up their tax allotment. That was gone. Because historically, Good Samaritan was paying the difference. They were taking all that allotment from the tax credit, which was about $300,000, but that was gone, so they just left out. So we stepped into this $35,000 a month loss that we had to swallow in November and December, and with startup costs, we were back in the corner.
Which in turn put the county in a corner because we'd been there for a while, and we just didn't have the funds at that time to go ahead and fund the startup costs. So that's where the loan came from. And
So that was a godsend for us to have that.
it was a rough few months.
It was, and it still continues to be a bit.
So it's 21,000 now, and it was 40? No, they just, they penciled in they were gonna start those payments
Payments
here.
back to them.
There'd be 6 payments. Oh, okay. And they were gonna start it. Originally, we thought we were gonna get most of that January 20th disbursement. That's the first one that the county treasurer puts out, is January 20th, and which would be about $200,000 this year. We thought that was going to be available to us right away, so that loan was going to be a short-term 90-day process, and so that's how that happened. But now the cash flow is still tight here, and so I guess what we're asking for is these first 3 months, which is about $75,000 on operating loss as far as CCV is. And we don't know what your thinking is on, we expect that money to be forwarded to us January 20th, correct?
Come in quarterly. It's according to your contract.
But that disbursement is made January 20th.
Right.
We're requesting this money for the first quarter.
I don't know, this is something I think Leslie needs to be present.
And I'm not familiar with that contract because I got dumped into this later, after the contract was signed, so I don't know.
Well,
And I'm kind of at a loss for myself right now because I'm just starting.
yeah, it wouldn't be fair to Willie. So it's something that we're going to have to table right at the moment, minus a commissioner and a county attorney.
Yeah, but the way I understood it from Leslie is that you come in quarterly and ask for the money, so the quarterly would be at
Well,
the end of March.
and my understanding was that if we turned this in as to what the projection was going to be, it would be available January 20th. But that was my understanding.
And that's where we need to,
Yeah, those are some points we all need to sit down and visit about with our attorney. Because just to open up the checkbook and write you a check,
Okay.
and I'm sorry it has to be that way, but a funeral today took both. So we'll get with Leslie when she gets back tomorrow and get her opinion on how
I
this
mean,
is.
our hands are really tied.
Yeah.
Really tied.
Explain this a little bit to us, this cash flow projection. How are you getting your numbers?
When it comes to assisted living revenue, that's where, that's how many people we have in the building as of right now.
Right.
And looking where we had 7. And so we have the capacity of having 10. And so as you look at April, we're looking at adding another person, and then again in probably a couple months after that, another one. So to add over time. So we'll have that 10 that we can look at. What we're looking at expenses is just a lot of startup expenses, and then the other part is come January 1st, all the vendors that we're using up their charges. We have not put in our rate increase yet, but we will. Again, we have to give 60 days notice to people. Since we just started in November, we couldn't just upcharge again that quickly. We will with long-term care. We have the capacity of having 30 people in our building. Right now we're at 28, so we're at roughly 92%. Where we want to be is at that 30 with a waiting list. And so when you figure that we started out November 1st, that was with the new building in assisted living and also the new building in long-term care. And so we couldn't use all 30 of the beds as they were being built and remodeled. And so, again, we're at 92. We're wanting to be at that 100%. When it comes to apartments, we have actually 2 vacant right now. Both of those went into assisted living. And so we've got one woman who's going to be moving in probably at the end of the month in one of those, and then we've got to go back out and try to find one more person for the apartments buildings. And so again, you just take the revenue, net expenses, and of course the expenses are primarily staffing, and then staffing, food, medical supplies.
How's your staffing right now? I mean, are we full, or you got?
We're using agency, and that's what
There's the cost.
That's an enormous cost.
Yeah.
Okay, what I did as of last week is went back to nursing with the board's approval and said we've got to do everything that we can to cut back on agency because that's the killer right there. And so we've got a couple interviews this week, one with an RN, one with another aide. So we're looking at backfilling as quickly as we can backfill so we can cut back on the agency to be out of there entirely by March. And those are the things that we're looking at. Good Sam ran agency a lot, and fiscally, you can't do it. You can't do it and make it work.
And we're witnesses to that. That was just a nightmare last year.
Yeah.
The last 2 years.
And so that's our biggest goal right now is to cut back on that agency. It's just, like I said, you absolutely can't keep it going when you're paying $7,000 to $8,000 a week.
Sure.
Which is what we're paying. And then our new insurance plan kicked in as well, and so then and it's a better plan, and cost-wise, it actually is about the same, but the plan itself is better. So we're seeing an uptick in the amount of people who probably will take advantage of that health plan too. That includes dental.
Okay.
So that's where some of the expenses are coming up with.
So basically, bottom line is you're looking for this $75,300. And obviously, you're desperate and out of time, and you need it.
Yes.
So, again, I apologize. We'll need to get with Roger and Leslie and Dolores and Scott and get this figured out and see if that's something that we can or cannot do.
What kind of bind will I put you in now?
We don't want to mess around too long with this, I'm assuming.
No, can it wait till the next commissioner meeting? Or it's gonna have to, basically? Well, it's gonna have to, I guess.
Well, not necessarily.
I mean, we were expecting something January 20th, but,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I'm not up to speed on the contract because I wasn't involved when it was
Well-
signed. I got dumped into this, as you recall.
And of course, Leslie is the one that
Yeah. I
is the driving
understand.
factor there, so one way or another, we're gonna have to wait for her opinion and
We
input.
have to call a special meeting, we have to call a special meeting.
That's right,
Okay.
Okay. That would be very helpful.
yeah. Okay, let us get these two back and get the information to them,
Okay.
Okay.
and then we'll hopefully give you a call and
Okay.
See where we are.
have a good, positive answer.
That's
Okay.
what we're looking for.
Oh, I get that. I could tell that when you walked in this morning.
We're patient if the answer's correct.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for your time. We
Oh, you're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
And
Well, I
we're,
might mention on a positive note, if you remember on the other cash flow, Scott, that was 30,000 every month.
Yeah.
It was just coming out. You'd look at 5 months here, this is half of what it would have been under the other thing. So from a positive standpoint, this is pretty positive.
well, we're cutting our deficit in half here already.
Yeah, really.
So, and I agree with you, it's positive.
Yeah.
It's
Just a step forward.
just tough to turn loose of those dollars for
Sure.
everybody.
Sure it is. Okay.
And we want to make sure we do
I'll
it
get
right.
together with you and you can kind of let me, inform me a little better on it. Okay. Yeah.
I tell you the best way is let him take you a tour of the place, both facilities. Have these folks
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
We would love to have you come.
take you up there and have the tour.
Okay.
Love to have you.
Because the long-term care unit is very, very nice
It
also.
is.
There's a lot of people don't realize we did that even. They think it's all on the assisted living side, but there's a lot of new rooms
Yeah, I know
on the
you were doing
long-term care,
something.
and it's very, very nice.
Yeah, I've been up there a couple times and been impressed both times. So
Thank you.
Thanks.
So absolutely any questions, anytime.
Okay, if you write your number down here, that way I can give you a call and see if I can get I have yours, Eddie.
Okay.
Okay. But Jenny,
And then I don't know what your schedule usually looks like, but
we always can make room for,
Yeah.
for people coming to visit.
3322531.
I'll just let you do
Or I
it.
guess I'll just put myself on there.
Yeah, I was going to put mine on you too.
I've seen the new part, but I haven't seen the remodeling, so.
Yep, need to see it.
Okay. So yeah, there's 16 beds that are new rooms over on the long-term care side.
Howard, make sure you take them down and show Willie the old group.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you see the comparison of the two. Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm sorry we
Thank
didn't have
you.
any better answers for you. But
Sorry. See ya. Thank you for your time.
Sheriff, you're on your own, I think.
Oh, thanks.
He better be easy.
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe a couple of you'd stick around and support me, but I guess not.
No, you're on your own.
Guess you're on your own.
Good morning, Cody.
Good morning, how you doing?
I'm good.
I just don't know that you can come in right now. 'cause
I
you're
don't
supposed
know
to come
either.
in quarterly, they're
Well,
just starting a quarter.
yeah. But they're asked the question, are they paid at the beginning of the quarter or at the end of the quarter?
That's where we just don't know.
Yeah.
If it was
I mean,
if it was like Good Sam, they came in at the end of the quarter and asked for the money. So that's
Well,
where we need to get with Leslie and find
Yeah.
out.
But you and I both know Good Sam came in monthly,
Yeah, I know.
so. Money, money, money. If we just had Cody Beeson's money, we wouldn't have any worries.
Yeah. You'd have no problems because you had no money. Kind of no woman, no worry, no money, no worry.
What do you got, Cody?
Well, if you guys got a little bit of time, I'd like to ask for executive session with you guys to talk about non-elected personnel
Sure.
for 10 minutes.
So I'll make a motion to go in executive session for 10 minutes for non-elected personnel for the sheriff.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Will you make any decisions afterwards on the reorganization?
It's just the same stuff we do every year.
Okay, all right.
I don't think there's going to be much changes.
You'll
I mean,
send
I can
out-
let you look at what we're doing.
Generally, you send out something that tells yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same generic stuff. we
Yeah,
have to-
if you have a chance to see what
Okay.
you decide, please. Thank you. I'll get on your hand. Give me a couple minutes.
Work last night or what?
No, but it was a long night.